guys, welcome back to Libro review. I hope you're doing very nice and I'm sending a lot of hugs and positivity to all of you. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my October and November wrap up along with my December TBR. I have not made an October wrap up because I did not read as many books in October, and my December TBR is basically also the books that I have not read from my 2020 TBR. So those are the only books left for me. I thought I'll finish them this month. Let's begin. The first book is The Art of Talking to Yourself by Veronica Tugaleva. I hope that you pronounce the name. I'm so sorry if I'm taking the name wrong, but I received this book as a review copy. I was very excited about this book because just look at the gorgeous cover, and I was like, this is about talking to yourself, something that I'm always aware of, something that I'm always talking about. So I'm like, this is something that can really help me along with you guys and it will be an amazing recommendation. However, when I read it, it turned out to be way more than I actually thought it will be. First of all, it is extremely relatable for me. It was literally as if like the book is talking to me and telling me that, yeah, this has happened with you, right? Secondly, it is not a self-help book. It is written at the back of the book and also in the introduction of the book that this book is not meant to be a self-help book. I was still skeptical about it. I was like, how on earth are you going to make a book about talking to yourself and not call it a self-help book? Then what will you call it? But when I read it, I did realize it's not a self-help book, and what I mean by that is that it is not telling you or giving you tips and tricks that you just need to blindly follow and your life will change. It is not about that. It is not about quick changes or quick fixes. This book is more about internal work, which is a slow but the best process ever, and it has really broken down all those processes in a very easy language with multiple metaphors and analogies. The language is easy, so it is a beginner friendly book, but make sure you're taking your time with it, firstly. Secondly, the physical copy in India is extremely expensive, so I don't expect you to go and buy an expensive book if you don't have the budget for it, but I am telling you, go and buy the ebook if you can. This is a must read. The next book is The Body Myth by Riya Mukherjee. Megha from Unorthodox Peeps actually gifted it to me and I was really excited about it, and the cover is gorgeous, so I thought let me just give it a read. I'm not done with it yet, but I'm almost done, which is why I'm including it in this wrap up itself. It is an interesting story, but there is one story going on and then suddenly story from the past will start or story from the future will start, so it is a little confusing according to me, but it is a good book, though I will not suggest it to beginners. It's basically the story of Meera, who has met this woman Sarah in a park. In their first meet itself, Sarah was sick. Now it is also about a lot of different sicknesses that various people have, but also how people can actually have like a fetish for sickness. There is some mystery going on, but you have to read the book to understand what it is. The next book is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Now this is the second book that I'm reading by Eckhart Tolle in this month and in my lifetime. I got this book again from the Flipkart sale and I was so excited and happy because this is not a pirated copy and it was really cheap. If you haven't checked out my Flipkart video, you should. I will put the link in the description. This book again has blown my mind, just like A New Earth. A New Earth has been life-changing for me. There are so many things that I'm able to understand better about myself and about other people. It has helped me to become more humble, become more of myself, because I do know how to differentiate between me and my ego, because I know that there are certain parts of me which is not exactly me, it is my ego. Of course, my ego also is a part of me, so I don't hate it, or I'm not like, oh, this is not a part of me or something like that, but I am becoming more aware of it, because of which I'm able to take certain decisions. I'm just able to think certain things that make me feel good, that make me feel stable and not overthink. Anyways, I should have said that when I'm talking about A New Earth. This book again has taught me the power of now, like the title suggests. Again, the language is easy only. They are not like extremely difficult words or something like that, but it is so deep It is crazy. The good thing, however, about this book is that it is in the form of question and answers. If you have certain questions in your head, there is a huge possibility that that question itself is there in this book, about mindfulness, about how the present changes our life, about what consciousness is, about what a being is, and all those kind of things, and the author is giving answers. If you want to start with Eckhart Tolle, then this definitely is the first book that you must be reading, because it is comparatively easier to understand. The next book is Wildcard 3 by Asfiya Rahman. Now this is the third book that I'm reading by the same author. I have read the other two books of the same series, Wildcard 1 and Wildcard 2. Honestly speaking, those first two books were a little more exciting than this book, but this book was way more emotional than those books. Those books were more like inspiring and motivation. This is the story of Roshni, who is in a wheelchair because she met an accident in her childhood itself, and her father is a Wimbledon champion, and her friend, like her father's friend, is also like played in the Wimbledon. So she's surrounded by people who love tennis, which makes it obvious that she also does like tennis. But there are a few complications, one of them being that she is in a wheelchair, so she's struggling a lot with it. She has just entered college and things are new over there also. So this is the story of how she overcomes all those kind of issues. But it is not only that, it is also about her relation with her father, her relation with her friend, and all those kind of things. I would not suggest you to start with this book, even though this book does have the summary of the other two books. I would suggest you start with Wildcard 1 and Wildcard 2 and only then read this, because this I feel like is a soft landing to those really two powerful books. It is super duper beginner friendly, so you can start with it. The next book I read is like the best book in the world. It is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I'm so sorry again. This book, let me tell you one thing. It is so beginner friendly. Start with it. You know, the reason I started with this book is because Joey was reading it in Friends, and I was like, if Joey can read a classic, then yes, even I can read this classic. I started with it, but oh my god, first of all, that is absolutely true. Joey did read it, even I read it. The language is really simple and it is a classic. I'm so happy to actually have read a classic this month. But the kind of heartwarming story this is, like, if I think of it, and I will actually cry. Such a pure story of these four little women and their mother, and all the kind of things that they have to go through, how they get over it, and all the kind of sweet gestures they do, and how they spend their time while their dad is away from them fighting a war. And I'm like, wow. It is like a classic for a reason. It is also so ahead of its times. I cannot imagine that it is there in this book, which has been written like years and years ago. This book is a gem. If you want to read a classic, something simple but something super heartwarming, or you know, like even Christmas is coming nowadays and it's like the holiday season, if you want to just like get into the blanket and have something with your hot chocolate or your coffee, or like, you know, stuff like that, this is your book. Read this book this month. It is amazing. The next book is Birthday Girl by Murakami. Murakami has ruined my brain this month. This book is the story of a 20-year-old girl. It is her birthday. She is a waitress in a hotel. It is like a normal birthday and nobody really knows her, but she has to go to the owner of the hotel to give him his dinner, and that changes everything for her on her 20th birthday, which further changes her life. It is the first short story by Murakami. As usual, Murakami's work is so captivating. For some reason, I have no idea how that guy does it. There is like this atmosphere around you when you read a Murakami book, like you are not in this world. How does he do that? It cannot be explained in words, or it's not like you get lost in the book and that's it. There is a literal atmosphere around you when you're reading his book. This book did the same thing. However, another thing that Murakami is super famous for is his endings, which people don't understand a lot of times. I am one of those people. The thing is, you can interpret the ending in your own way, but that is something I am not a big fan of, because the ending to a book is something that you will never ever get from anywhere else. It's not like I can wait for some time and then I will know the ending someday. Only this author could give me in this book and he did not, so that was a little disappointing. But oh my god, you should read this book once and like F up your brain. The next book is Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk. I read this book again. The thing is, this is not the kind of book that you can read in one sitting. I have realized that for sure. I have to keep going back to it and coming back and going back and coming back, like any other book that I have read about social media and content creation. If you also want to learn something about content creation, social media growth, growing your own brand and selling and all those kind of things, do pick it up. It is a large book. It will take time. You may have to go back and forth, but it is so worth it. The next book is The Only Negotiating Guide You'll Ever Need by Peter B. Stark and Jane Flaherty. This again was, I only read it because it was on my 2020 TBR. There was no other reason for me to read this book in these 2 months. I do not think that people who are experts in negotiation, or if you want to become an expert in negotiation, or you've already read a few books on negotiation and you want to read more, then this is not your book. I really feel like it is a beginner's guide. It has 101 ways to win every time in any situation, which is absolutely true. There are 101 ways in this book, at least in the end, given in pointers, and they are so helpful, so freaking helpful. I actually applied some of those like with my brother and stuff, and it actually works. So it's really cool. So if you want to start with negotiation, this book is amazing. The next book is Dance by Murakami. Okay, so I spent a lot of time reading this book, and then after I finished the book, there were certain things I did not understand. There is a huge possibility that you can read this book alone, but it is a part of a series, and I have not read the first book of the series, and I am thinking that that is why I'm not able to understand certain things from this book. Now, this is the story of a man who is leading like a normal life, but there is this hotel that he had been to, and then he met a girl over there, and he just keeps dreaming about her again and again. So he goes back to the hotel to visit that girl, or to like get some kind of information, because that girl just vanished out of his life suddenly. When he goes back, there is like a whole new chapter, there is like a whole new pattern waiting for him, whole new people waiting for him, and he is able to enter a space within the hotel that nobody else even knows exists, or nobody else knows, like, can see. These are crazy. I loved reading this book. It was so much fun. Again, that whole atmosphere thing, it did happen. But again, I did not understand a few things in this book. I'm pretty sure I'm going to read it again. So if you're starting with Murakami, do not read this book. Dance, not a book for you if you're just starting with Murakami. The last book is A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. I have spoken enough about it in the beginning of the video, but yes, I was rereading this book and it helped me like it always does. Alrighty, the sun is going down, so I gotta make it quick. The first book I want to finish reading in December is The 21 Lessons for the 21st Century by Yuval Noah Harari. It is on my 2020 TBR. No other reason why I want to read it. I don't think I'll be able to finish it. I'm pretty sure I won't be able to finish it, but I'm gonna try. Next is Yes Please by Amy Poehler. This I can finish. This I am very, very excited about, but again, on my TBR of 2020. Next is The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. This book, like, there are some of you who talk to me in the comment section and tell me that I have to read this book. It is the sweetest thing in the world, so I will read it. Next is A Woman in the Window. I started this book in January, but I put it down. I will hopefully enjoy it in this month. Next is 1984 by George Orwell. Again, I started with this book. I read 2 pages, kept it down, want to finish it this month. Last is Great Expectations. This also was on my TBR of October, I think, but I did not finish it. Hoping to finish it this month because this also is supposed to be easy. Also, you guys, talking about the book haul, which is not there in this video, I did receive up to 15 books in the previous month. October book haul is already there, like the Flipkart sale, so that I will put in the description. November haul is going to come up very soon on the channel, probably next week itself, so do stay tuned for that is an unboxing video like never before. I'm unboxing the most gorgeous books ever. Alright, the sun has gone down. I'm still hoping that the quality of the video is okay. However, if you did enjoy the video, please do make sure that you like, share, subscribe, bell button, all those great things. We are very close to 10k. Let us all hit 10k together before the year ends and celebrate New Year along with our huge family. I will see you guys very soon. Bye.